set out to do was break the mold in the cannabis industry here in Kentucky. You know, we wanted to produce a product at a level that nobody else was capable of, that nobody else really knew how to do in the industry locally, you know. And so we set out to take a lot of the lessons that we learned in various paths in our lives, largely out west, and bring them into our production style here in Kentucky. And so federally, we got our cannabis production license in late 2018, planted our first crop in 2019. We planted 2.3 acres, all plants, 6,000 plants, each one of them planted from seed by hand, so they had a nice strong taproot. And we treated them right. We had somebody inspect every plant every day. We sprayed in the mornings, we sprayed at night with absolutely all natural insecticides, etc., to keep away mold, keep away bugs, critters, aphids, all that stuff. We treated our plants like you would treat full-fledged cannabis out west in the normal industry, you know, because we were trying to grow a superior smokable crop. The problem is that we were allowed to grow it in the state of Kentucky, but we weren't allowed to sell it in the state of Kentucky unless we took our crop that was worth anywhere from $400 to $700 per pound wholesale and sold it for $2 to $3 a pound instead, so that it could be turned into CBD oil. And there's value to CBD oil. We're also retailers in the CBD space, and we appreciate what CBD offers to the masses. But some people don't want oil. They want an alternative that's more traditional, and so that's what we produced. Because we weren't allowed to sell it in the state of Kentucky, we were forced to go out of state to find legal markets for us to sell our flower to individuals or businesses in states where they had the right to have hemp flower. As silly as it was, the closest place we could do that was our neighbor, the state of Indiana. So that's why we started our retail store. Originally, it was for an outlet for our flower that we grew here in the state of Kentucky. It was really disappointing to us because in almost every case, Kentucky was losing out on tax dollars for a massive operation that we put together. We had 37 to 40 jobs at our height running out here on the farm, all of them making much better than minimum wage. And all of that's disappeared because if you don't have a retail outlet to sell your premium product, you can't put the investment that's necessary into producing a premium product. And so all we're left with is filling this farm with molecule crop, which is not what our goal was. It's not why we brought industry and technology to this 100-plus-year-old tobacco farm in the state of Kentucky and revamped it to grow a modern cash crop. You know, we believed the next step for Kentucky was for it to rise to the forefront of cannabis, both in research, in sales, in production, and we thought in legislation. But that's not what we saw. Instead, we saw continued villainization of hemp farmers. We saw continued villainization and ostracization of retailers and producers and processors. And now I think we've gone from almost 1,000 hemp farmers in the state of Kentucky to so few that you could count it on all the digits you got, you know. And I wonder how many of those that haven't gone fully integrated have any outlet left for the cannabis that they're growing. The last I checked, industrial cannabis was $1 or less per pound. You know, we paid $1 per seed. So after growing it, trimming it for $100 per pound to each trimmer and producing a final product, we'd be paying our life savings to not close our farm down at this point. And it's all because our legislatures won't sit at the table and get on the same page with us. They won't step up and say, there's no reason for us to have a law against this, so we're going to allow it. Instead, the opinions of the few have led to an industry which could have burgeoned into Kentucky's, I think, largest tax windfall. And instead, it has withered into a cinder that we will never see burn as bright as it could have again. And so that's where we are now. As of today, we've burned about 700 pounds of the crop that we had left over. The final retail value of that produced, if we just assume we produce that into pre-rolls, which are extremely common, retail flower packaging, you're looking at about $1.25 million after the cost of goods sold, you know. And a year our farm would turn over somewhere in the realm of $300,000 worth of labor to individuals, you know. And so not only is it a massive tax loss, not only is it a massive job loss, but personally, you know, we just saw our investments blow up in smoke, you know. And while we were doing it, the fire department came and told us that it was a nuisance to the community, so we needed to put our cannabis fire out,
Right. So
you know. 2018 Agricultural Farm Bill actually legalized hemp and all hemp salts, isomers, derivatives, etc., in all forms. So Kentucky actually had to move in the legislature specifically to make a bill that hindered hemp and the hemp industry in the state of Kentucky. It was interesting, and I can't exactly fault Kentucky entirely because the USDA led the charge on this, and Kentucky early on followed the USDA's lead. As hemp farmers, we were begging Ryan Quarles, who was the head of the Kentucky Department of Agriculture at the time and still is, we were begging him to move against the USDA and implement common sense hemp regulation in the state of Kentucky because we did not believe that the USDA was moving in that direction. And they didn't, and they weren't, and they still aren't, you know. But the Agricultural Farm Bill legalized these things. It is not the responsibility, nor is it the purview of the USDA or the KDA to make something illegal that was not illegal. And so the KDA moved in under the guidance of the USDA to form a set of regulations which shadowed a set of legislations that were actually made part of the Kentucky Code, which made hemp flower the same as marijuana, as regular cannabis in the state of Kentucky. That being said, bills like SB 170, currently moving through the Senate and on its way into the House Judiciary Committee this week, are the types of bills that misunderstand the hemp industry and its needs and its goals. And because of it, whether the folks that are sponsoring it believe they're doing good or not, because of it, it will lead to the destruction of the hemp industry as it stands. You know, as the law stands right now, Kentucky Code says there's no hemp flower. There's only hemp derivatives. Even still, we were arrested as retailers. I say we, I'm happy to say we weren't, but some of our peers were arrested as retailers for legal products. Then they made SB 170 to try to wipe out those products to justify all of the arrests that their peers have undergone to this point. The issue is that nobody is subsidizing a hemp paper mill. Nobody's subsidizing a hemp toilet paper production factory. Nobody's subsidizing a hemp textile production factory. The government isn't coming in and saying, hey, we're going to help you find another market to sell what you've grown, right? Because the market, the people have come and said the market is CBD oil, it's THCP, it's THCO, it's Delta 9, it's Delta 8, it's Delta 10, right? That's what the market wants to buy. So supply and demand goes both ways, right? If we have a supply issue, then we have nowhere to sell these products, right? But if nobody's asking for your hemp herd to make flooring or to make hempcrete, if nobody's building buildings out of hempcrete, then why would you grow hemp to produce hempcrete? There is no industrial, commercial hemp industry right now. There is no textile or paper or plastic replacement industry yet. You know, we as hemp retailers, as hemp farmers, we hope that tomorrow there will be, right? We hope that tomorrow we will have 1 million outlets for our product, right? We hope that we'll have endless opportunities for markets in the future. But right now, there's no funding behind the industrial markets, and the laws forbid us from being in the recreational or medicinal markets. And the laws are becoming more strict. And with laws like SB 170, they're trying to cut our feet out from under us, under the guise of saying that hemp should be an industrial crop. Hemp should be paper and plastics and flooring and hempcrete. But no one's doing that. And I'm not a hempcrete connoisseur. I'm not a flooring maker. I'm a farmer, right? I can't be everything, and the government's not helping me out. They're closing the door. And I'm not asking for help. I don't want help. I just want you to leave the door open, right? Allow me to go out and take my product that I grew legally with the government's permission here in the state of Kentucky and allow me to sell it, period. Not sell it as long as you don't do this or that or the other with it, but just sell it, right? Because why are we legislating against the back end of that discussion, right? We produced a crop legally in the state of Kentucky with the state of Kentucky's permission. Individuals in the state of Kentucky or businesses in the state of Kentucky should be able to purchase that crop and reuse it for whatever they feel they want to reuse it for, whether it be smoking, whether it be making flooring, whether it be hempcrete, whether it be oil, whether it be derivatives like Delta 8, Delta 9, Delta 10 that SB 170 is trying to pull completely out of our state. My call to action for everybody would be to touch base with your legislature, call your senator. Right now, it's moved out of the Senate, it's into the House. Touch base with your representative. Say no to SB 170 today to save not only hemp, to save not only the future of cannabis, right, but to support the government limiting itself to the true level of responsibility that it has, right, to staying out of making decisions in your life where it shouldn't be. You know what I mean? And allowing infrastructure and business to flourish as a result. So call your senator today. You call the legislative hotline, call your representative, and let them know no on SB 170.